So good afternoon, coach. Thank you so much for taking out your time to do this interaction. It's much appreciated. How have you seen the team fare so far in the two matches that you've played away from home? Just to like begin off, coach.
To start with, I'm very pleased with the attitude of the players, uh, the the togetherness, the team spirit that they have been showing in this very little time is really nice. Is much to be appreciated. That's the first thing and the most important thing. If that is not there, then it is very difficult. Then never mind what the result is. You have work that is much more than just football, and just tactics. So first of all, I'm very pleased with that. And after that, what really gets me gets me excited and gets me encouraged is that the fact that they want to learn. They want to learn. They want to prosper. In a way where they can help themselves and help the club, which is very encouraging. And at the same time, they want to build something that is worthwhile for themselves and for the club. So in terms of results, yes, it hasn't gone away. We were very unlucky in the first game, but it's also true that we are not at our at our optimum best, because in terms of both physical condition as well as in terms of the way how we are playing. Remember, it's totally new team. We got into of when I say new, it's not because of players, because the players are almost 90% of the players the same as that of last season, if not more. There are only different, only three players who have come now, or four players that have come new are the four foreigners and Imran. Otherwise, the team is almost the same. In fact, three foreigners, I would say, not even four foreigners. Inigo, yeah, Eduardo, Ali, and yeah, no way. So yeah, the full foreigners. So it takes time. It takes time, but we need to improve ourselves in certain aspects of the game, especially when we have the ball. We are doing very well defensively, I would say, which was what I worked with them. We worked for the maximum time, because the defense is the most important foundation of anything that you build. So we worked well, and even the goals that we considered were like, I wouldn't say defensive failures as a defensive failure as an organization, but some lapses, and we were unlucky in terms of when you consider the goal against Mumbai. Some goals that we consider against the first goal that we considered against Mohun Bagan was because we lost the ball in the middle and then didn't push the line up. So these are some things that we need to fine tune. What we need to work on our on our attacking ability. But that is because the team was playing in a different way last year. It was more direct, more straight, and more based on more individual attributes. But this year it is different. This year we have introduced a certain concepts that certain players have to be in certain positions, and it takes time. It takes time for them to understand. But the good part is they are understanding, they're getting to it, and hopefully we have to improve this aspect of our game.
Yeah, sorry. So, coach, one thing that is observed in the matches so far is the fact that the assistant coaches also take their turns in going to the touchline and putting on instruction. Is that part of your approach as coach? In terms of being trying to decentralize, kind of to help take turns within your backroom staff. And could you just also take us through more on your backroom staff, because one of them, Anthony Fernandez, was also part of your core backroom staff back in Odisha. So how could you just more explain more on your background stuff or what you're trying to do with them, with the kind of things that we've seen so far?
We have people who help me and help the team, who are I believe who are good people first of all, and who are good in the job that they're doing. Now, for me, when I work, I want to grow. I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to educate myself, and I want to prosper and progress. At the same time, I want people around me to learn and to progress and to prosper. For me, a simple way is to give everyone their job, and to ask them to do their duty. So, for example, I have two assistants. I have Rajat as a goalkeeper coach and Anthony as an assistant coach. So Rajat looks after the defensive set pieces, and Anthony looks after the attacking set pieces. Apart from that, they both help me with technical and tactical inputs. And we have Ashwin there who is an analyst and who's doing a good job in terms of communicating with me in live during the game as to what the real situation is. Besides that, Mohit is there who's done a very good job in terms of keeping the team and making them fit in a short period of time. So yeah, so like I said to you before, for me it's important that I grow and also people around me grow. By the way, Anthony wasn't my assistant when I was in Odisha. We never worked together. It's the first time that he's with me.
Yeah, so sorry about that, little bit this thing. Also, I just want to know about your philosophy, coming up through the ranks at Tempo. You're one of the, talented players coming through. But I just want to know your philosophy as a coach, and considering that you are also assistant to Juan Ferrando at Odisha, at Mohun Bagan, that is, sorry. So, what, how, from whom have you all taken ideas from? What are you trying to bring through your philosophy, your style of play in football, just to
Uh, I have been into football for quite a long time. Like
Mm.
as a kid, and then I went the academy in TFA, and then played for what 15 years at Tempo. Played a bit for the national team as well, and then worked under various coaches. I worked under Lovera, I worked under Derek, I worked under Kambao, I worked under Antonio Habas, and most importantly, the man whom I learned the most is in terms of every aspect is Juan Ferrando. So the thing is, you always pick up something from everyone. Right from your coach, your playing days until you start coaching, and then even sometimes when you watch and you always pick up something or the other, and then you try to use it to the best of to use it to the best of your your way of playing. Like whatever is nice, you take it. Whatever you think is not so, you let it go. For me, the closest that any coach, there's two factors. The first is, I like to play possession based football, but not possession for the sake of it, but possession, and that's what I call it. For me, it's called a progressive possession. So we keep possession, but for going forward, not for the sake of it. So if there are ways where we can go with two or three passes forward, we'll go with two or three passes forward, because ultimately the most important thing is to reach the opponent's goal. And sometimes, if we can reach with one pass, we'll go with one pass. If we sometimes require 20 passes, we'll require 20 passes. We'll make 20 passes to go. So the most important thing is uh, is to know when to go. And it's important that what we want to do, or what I want to do in terms of how I want my team to play, is comes from the methodology, comes from training session. So a lot of training sessions that we have are based on helping the players make decision making, helping the players make decisions. And how do we do that? We have a lot of cognitive exercises in trainings, a lot of which in turn helps the players to make decisions. So where this comes from, and then of course I like to play proactive football, both offensive and defensive. So when the opponent has the ball, I want the ball to be with us as quickly as possible. And for that, again, you need to train your team. You need to calculate that those traits, into your players in the training session. How do I get it from? It's like I said, from various coaches, but most importantly, the possession that I got it was my time in Tempo, because that's where we played football, played possession based football. And also most important. And how do I get it is where I have how of all how do I get, so where I get it from is from Tempo, and from whom I've got it is from Juan, is where he taught me, or I learned from him as to how to get it done. You understand? So how, one thing is like you can make your players play. Okay, I want to my team to play like this in a certain way, like a possession based possession. But how is what I learned it from one, how to get it done. And then there are various exercises, so like I said, for me, I want my team to play in a progressive possession way, and progressive possession with a very very proactive defensive approach.
Well put, coach. I just want to shift a little bit away from you as a coach. I just want to look into the before the start of the season. We had a very long delay, and it's something around 6 or 7 months, or even like 8 months. So, as Clifford Miranda, as a human being, what were you trying to do there? Did you take as an opportunity to learn more about the game? Try to bring in new ideas, or was it something that you tried to like? Step away from football. So how is it like during how is it like being there as part of this big impasse, just to like,
The
if you don't mind talking about it.
delay was the delay was for 9 months, to be precise, if something unprecedented in football. So I have been in football for what, since in professional football, I will say, for since 2000. And before that I was in professional, and before that I was in the academy for another 4 years, so I have been, and before that I was playing under 14s and under 13. So I have been into structured football for more than 30, 33, 34 years. And something this has happened for the first time. Never known, never heard. So it was always difficult. I was being nervous, anxiousness, being hopeful, sometimes being frustrated, sometimes waiting for news to come. So sometimes learning, sometimes trying to try new things, trying to educate ourselves, educate myself, sometimes trying to just free myself from all the stress. So there was a whole lot of emotions, and because the time was a lot, so you could do various things as to how you could learn to get certain things into something that you always wanted to do, or some ideas that you wanted to implement, that if I get the time, and when I get the time, like, okay, this is what I will do. So yeah, the time was fruitful, both as a professional, at the same time it was it was anxious, nervous, being anxious as well, and frustrating too. But also in terms of family, it was good because it was the first time I was with my family for such a long time. So yeah, it had its disadvantages, but also there were some benefits that something that I could not have for years. I got to have.
So you said that you've had this time with your family and everything, and I remember in your time in Odisha, you just had a young family. So how much has family helped you right now coming into the season? Spending time with them. Does that has that made you more of a rejuvenated human being coming into Chennaiyin FC for this season?
How good a human being I am is for someone else to say, but but my family is my biggest support. Is my support system. My mother, my kids, my mother, my wife, oof, my kids. They are my but my biggest support system. I don't have much of a public life, I would say. I'm a very private person. I like it like that. I don't have much of a life away from my home, away from my house. So yeah, whatever time, whenever I'm home, I'll mostly be in my house, and it is my family that keeps me going. Because apart from football, the only thing, or something that is before football, I would say, is my family, right from my mother to my sisters and to my wife and kids. Besides that, oh, I don't have any interest, to be honest. Sometimes I distress myself by watching movies, but that's all about the only vice that I have. Otherwise, like I said, for me, family is the most important thing. It's a way to for me to disconnect from all the stress and all the outside world that exists, even from my profession. Yeah.
Well put, coach. It was really nice to hear all that. With this delay, one of the worst affected were also the players. And coming to the club and training with the players. You had also said that their physical levels were not really there. But a lot of the players were also staring at the time where they might have to step out of football. To bring them back in, how did you look at them? What is there on their faces when you saw them coming back to training? you know uh, was there still nerves there, or was it completely all a relief? So if you just take us through that first training session when we knew that the league was going to start, how was the emotions like then?
Yeah, relief and excitement. That's how I'll summarize it. And not just for them. Is first of all relief. Because it had been too much of a waiting. That was going on. And there were so many deferments and postponements that were going on, that it looked like it might not happen. And then to eventually happen, until you arrive, and then the training starts, and then you feel like, okay, it's gonna happen. you know so that was more of relief for everyone. And I will not say just the football players, but everyone who's associated with Indian football, whether you are a first time into Indian football or someone who has been for so many years. It was relief because, like I said before, no, and everyone, this was unprecedented. It was kind of a crisis, something that has, imagine, I've been in football for such a long while, till memory takes me, like what, since 96, I think, when the ISL, the National League started. And before that also they used to have these tournaments. I haven't heard that uh, there was such a big break of 9 months where there was no football activity at all. So, and that was something unprecedented. And then after that, to come back into football, the first thing was, forget the pitches, forget the equipments, forget the facilities. Let's get into football. And it was for everyone, for the players, the coaches. Okay, if you see, not many of them complain, because now most of the clubs doesn't have the the best of pitches. Because normally even the standard of training is a little higher comparatively to the olden times. Since the ISL has come, but now the club is really trying its best, but sometimes you have to accept the reality, no? And the players, I would say, are cooperating and not complaining, because they themselves know that under what circumstances and in what conditions that the league has finally started. So it was relief and excitement.
Right, right. I mean, so much of color and imagination. How I can imagine how relieved that you were and the players, especially when you're talking about. And coming back to your philosophy as coach, you were talking about so much of progressive possession. Having to do with a lot of forward passing. That also involves a lot of mentality. So, how much has it? How much have the players progressed in terms of having that positive mindset to make forward passes, to take that risks in terms of making those passes? So, have you seen improvement from the time when you first took over as coach in the Super Cup till say today? So, how much is that implemented in terms of the mental? Just to
It's not easy. When I say progressive possession, it's like, when I say possession, so when it's possession, it's like you keep possession irrespective of where the space is. The most important thing in football is space, no? So when we say progressive possession, is like you have to decide when to go, when to play forward, and when not to play forward, depending on the opponent, no? Depending on the position of the opponent and the space availability. So this is decision making. So it's not just possession, but there's a big factor here, and that is decision making. That is like to use your thinking power, use your foresight, use your your intelligence, or try to try to get to start thinking to when to play and when not to play. And this is based on decision making, so here we are like not just training. I'm trying not to train them as just to play football. I'm trying to train them to take decisions. Like you must have heard, like saying, okay, we have to take decisions, or they have to take decisions, but how do you coach them to take decisions? And this is exactly what I'm trying to coach them. to take this to help them. And how is like to introducing a lot of cognitive games in training sessions. So this that unlocks their thinking power, which ultimately helps them to make decisions, not relying on the coach, but doing it by themselves. And this is not easy. Not easy. It's the most difficult because you just go and play football. Anyone can go and play football in the park, no? But to go and play football, to think and play football, that is difficult. And not just when you have the ball, also when you don't have the ball. Like your teammate has the ball. So where do I have to make the run? Inside, outside, where the space is. So this requires them. But they're adapting. They're adapting. They're learning. It's something that is new for most of them, or is something that they had done maybe earlier, but they have not done for some time because the the playing style was different, and outsourcing different was not wrong. Okay, the playing style was different, which was also nice because there are many ways to play football. One, the word that I'm talking, then there's other way that the previous coach had, then there's another way that the other coaches had. So everyone has their own way. There's nothing wrong and right. It's just that to make the transformation transition from one way of playing to another way, it takes time, because in the end they're not machines, not that like you recalibrate and start afresh. They take time. They take time. Humans take time. And but the more they do it, the more we enforce it, they will get there. And especially with attacking, because defending is okay, is the foundation, but defending is written in, like, it's in stone. It doesn't change. The principles of defending never changes. It it, it overrides one, overrides the other, but it's there in stone. The attacking is more fluid. It's like more creativity. It's like more about confidence. It's more about decision making, thinking. So it takes time. It takes time. But they are learning, and they are trying.
Right, right. And just to finally round it off, so what part of Clifford Miranda's upbringing and exposure to football resonates with Chennaiyin FC? Do you see anything similar with who you are and with what the club represents? Something that you've seen that resonates with you in the club so far, coach, just to finish it off.
From the appearances is the CNC, the Clifford and Chennai. That starts first. Okay, but in terms of traits, yes, it in terms of traits. So yeah, that's to start with the beginning. But in terms of trait, uh, it is a family oriented club. A very much a family oriented. Like I feel it really warm. I worked in a lot of clubs as even as assistant, and some are like really, really, professional, and this club is like a mixture of everything. I believe, and I was being told that the owner is very close with the club, which is very true. I have seen it myself, and is involved as well. And it's more like a family, something that is very close to me, and something that very much resonates the way how I with me, the way and the way how I think. I feel that I can feel the warmth. I can feel the warmth, not just towards me, but inside the club, among the players, among the staffs, among the staff, among the people who have been here, in the way how they talk and behave. I can see the respect, the mutual respect that is there, the genuineness. Yes. So I think, and the calmness, So I think these things match a lot with me, and of course, the ambition, the ambition to grow, to become big, to dream big, and to win.
Coach, thank you so much for
Thank you.
your
Thank
time.
you
And
very much. Nice
yeah,
talking to you.